You ever start a game just to try it out, and suddenly it's 3 a.m., you haven't eaten, and you're emotionally attached to your horse? Yeah, that kind of obsession. Some games just grab you and don't let go. Massive worlds, deep stories, and zero chill. So here are 21 huge, single-player games you'll be absolutely hooked on after the first hour.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
The Long Dark. There's surviving, and then there's the long dark surviving, where even nature itself seems personally offended by your existence. Developed by Hinterland Studio, this first-person survival game drops you into a frozen Canadian wilderness after a mysterious geomagnetic storm. No zombies, no mutants, just you, hunger, frostbite, and the world's angriest weather system. Every sound matters here. The crunch of snow could mean safety, or that a wolf's about to ruin your whole afternoon. The world feels desolate, yet hypnotic. Snow-covered forests, frozen lakes, and the eerie silence of a dying world that dares you to keep going. There's no hand-holding. You learn through failure, panic, and that one glorious moment when you finally light a fire before freezing to death. It's brutal, beautiful, and quietly poetic. If you've ever wanted a survival game that makes you the monster to fear, The Long Dark is it. Persona 3 Reload. If Existential Dread had a stylish anime soundtrack, it'd be Persona 3 Reload. Developed by Atlus, this remake breathes new life into a 2006 cult classic, mixing turn-based combat, high school life, and philosophical punches right to the soul. You play as a student juggling exams by day and fighting literal manifestations of human misery by night. Normal teenage stuff. The world shifts between bright halls of Gekuken High and the eerie green-tinted Tower of Tartarus that appears during the dark hour, a secret time when the rest of the world sleeps. Every choice, every friendship, and every late-night battle shapes how your story unfolds. Combat feels smooth and modern, fast-paced, flashy, and packed with satisfying Persona fusions. But what truly hooks you is the balance between social bonds and cosmic horror. Persona 3. Reload doesn't just pull you in, it invites you to live another life, and you'll want to stay way past curfew. Fallout New Vegas. Welcome to Fallout New Vegas, where the Mojave Desert is somehow both a post-apocalyptic wasteland and the most entertaining RPG vacation spot ever built. Developed by Obsidian Entertainment, this open-world masterpiece throws you into the dusty chaos of a nuked Nevada, armed with nothing but a gun, a grudge, and a questionable fashion sense. You're the courier, left for dead after getting shot in the head over a mysterious package. From there, it's pure freedom. Every decision, alliance, and stray bullet you fire actually shapes the fate of New Vegas itself. One moment you're chatting politics with NCR soldiers, the next you're helping Elvis impersonators defend their turf. It's that kind of world. The writing, razor sharp. The choices, deliciously messy. The factions, impossible to fully trust. New Vegas is less about surviving the apocalypse and more about thriving in it, with sarcasm, whiskey, and a shotgun. Viva the wasteland, baby. Yakuza 5. Yakuza 5 is what happens when a soap opera, an action movie, and a rhythm game all walk into a bar, and somehow it works beautifully. Developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio, this fifth mainline entry cranks everything up to 11, delivering 5 protagonists, 5 cities, and about 5 million distractions. It's chaotic, emotional, and unreasonably addictive. The story weaves deep themes of loyalty, redemption, and the price of chasing your dreams, all wrapped in over-the-top fights and heartfelt drama. Every punch lands with purpose. Every karaoke song hits harder than it should. Yakuza 5 isn't just a game. It's an entire experience you live through with style, heart, and absurd confidence. Outward. Outward doesn't care if you're a hero, it just wants to see if you can survive a night without freezing, starving, or dying of pure stupidity. Developed by 9 Dot Studio, it's an open-world RPG that throws away the usual chosen one fantasy and says, nah, you're just some poor villager who owes rent. The world of Arai is harsh but mesmerizing. Forget fast travel or quest markers. You navigate by landmarks and gut instinct, which makes every victory feel personal. Combat is tactical, exploration unforgiving, and failure constant. Yet that's the beauty of Outward. When you finally master its rhythm, cook your own meals, and build your survival kit, it feels real. It's less about saving the world and more about surviving it. And honestly, that's way more satisfying. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. If stealth had a PhD in chaos, it'd be Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Developed by Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions, this game lets you live out the ultimate tactical espionage fantasy. You play as Venom Snake, a hardened mercenary leading Diamond Dogs, seeking revenge in a massive open-world battlefield across Afghanistan and Africa. The freedom here is unreal. Every mission can go 10 different ways depending on how clever, clumsy, or chaotic you are. Whether you're infiltrating bases under the cover of night or kidnapping soldiers with a balloon system, because why not? The Phantom Pain constantly rewards creativity. The AI adapts, the world reacts, and your mistakes become legendary stories. It's stealth perfection with a side of beautiful madness. The kind of game that makes you whisper, just one more mission at 4 a.m.
Hands up.
Divinity Original Sin 2. Divinity Original Sin 2 is what happens when a tabletop RPG and a genius developer, Larian Studios, decide to show everyone else how it's done. It's not just an RPG, it's an interactive novel, a chessboard, and a chaotic science experiment all rolled into one glorious mess of player freedom. Set in the beautifully detailed world of Rivellon, you start as a prisoner with a secret power, but how your story unfolds depends entirely on your choices. You can talk to ghosts, charm squirrels, start fires accidentally, or on purpose, and somehow convince an enemy to become your best friend mid-fight. The turn-based combat is deep and strategic, letting you mix elements, manipulate terrain, and break every rule of traditional RPGs. But what really hooks you is how alive the world feels. Every decision matters, every lie has weight. It's the kind of game that makes you feel smart for outsmarting it.
I am death and light.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There are open world RPGs, and then there's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the gold standard. The reason your backlog keeps crying. Developed by CD Projekt Red, it drops you into the muddy boots of Geralt of Rivia, a monster slayer who somehow juggles slaying beasts and questioning the meaning of destiny, all before breakfast. From war-torn villages to misty swamps and grand cities like Novigrad, every inch of its world feels handcrafted. The side quests? Better written than most full games. The choices? Morally gray enough to make you sit in silence after the credits. Combat blends swordplay, potions, and magic signs into a brutal ballet of survival. And the writing? Sharp, tragic, unforgettable, makes you care deeply about people you just met 5 minutes ago. The Witcher 3 doesn't just pull you in, it owns your attention. You don't play it, you live in it. Dying Light. Dying Light is basically Parkour Simulator, Apocalypse Edition. Developed by Techland, it throws you into the quarantined city of Haran, a crumbling playground crawling with the undead. By day, you're scavenging rooftops, crafting weapons, and feeling like a parkour god. By night, you're screaming, panicking, and praying those volatiles don't find you. The fluid movement system is the real star here. Combat is gritty and personal, with every swing, shove, and Molotov earning you one more day of survival. But what really keeps you hooked is the rhythm of it all. That perfect balance between freedom and fear. You're not just running from zombies, you're running for your life. And when dawn finally breaks after surviving the night, you don't feel like a hero. You feel like someone who earned the sunrise. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. If Studio Ghibli ever made a playable fairy tale about rebuilding hope, it'd be Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. Developed by Level 5, this JRPG feels like stepping into a living watercolor painting, a world so wholesome you almost forget you're leading a revolution. You play as Evan Pettywhisker Tildrum, yes really, a young king forced to flee his own kingdom after a coup. But instead of wallowing, he decides to build a brand new utopia from scratch, a city where everyone can live in peace. The game perfectly balances heartfelt storytelling with addictive kingdom management, real-time combat, and adorable companion creatures called Higgledies. Every corner of the world burst with color and charm. Ni no Kuni 2 isn't about war or vengeance. It's about kindness, leadership, and starting over. Something we all secretly wish we could do.
Here goes nothing.
Fallout 4. If you've ever wanted to rebuild civilization with duct tape and optimism, Fallout 4 is your post-apocalyptic playground. Developed by Bethesda Game Studios, it tosses you into a devastated Boston, now called the Commonwealth, where every rusted building hides loot, lore, or a lunatic in power armor. You start as a survivor emerging from Vault 111, searching for your lost child in a world that's long forgotten what normal even means. But then the scavenging addiction kicks in. You're scrapping toasters for screws, building settlements, and suddenly realizing you've spent 3 hours decorating a shack for an NPC who doesn't even say thank you. Combat feels tight, exploration rewarding, and the world tells 1,000 small stories without saying a word. From gunfights and crumbling skyscrapers to late-night crafting marathons, Fallout 4 is less about finding your son and more about finding purpose in a world that's beautifully broken.
What was that?
KENSHI. KENSHI is what happens when a developer looks at every RPG convention and says, nah, figure it out yourself. Developed by Lo-Fi Games, it's a brutal, lawless sandbox where you start as a nobody, literally a starving peasant, and either die in 5 minutes or become a warlord with your own city. There's no hand-holding, no main quest, and no mercy. The world of KENSHI is a bleak masterpiece. You'll get captured, enslaved, beaten, and robbed. But every failure is just another story you survived. The freedom here is unmatched. Want to be a traitor, a thief, a cannibal hunter, or just a wandering philosopher with a sword? Go for it. It's ugly, janky, and utterly unforgettable. KENSHI isn't about winning, it's about enduring. The first time you crawl out of the sand, bloodied but alive, you'll realize it's not a game that wants you to play. It wants you to adapt. Grand Theft Auto 5. Few games scream chaotic freedom quite like Grand Theft Auto 5. Developed by Rockstar Games, it's the digital embodiment of the phrase, "I'll just do one more thing," which inevitably ends with a 5-star police chase and a stolen fighter jet. Set in the sprawling city of Los Santos and its sun-soaked countryside, GTA 5 gives you 3 wildly different protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, whose lives intertwine in a story full of crime, corruption, and pure insanity. It's a game that thrives on unpredictability. The detail, humor, and ridiculous physics make it endlessly replayable, even a decade later. GTA 5 isn't just a sandbox, it's a stress test for self-control. You tell yourself you'll behave.
Hey, we knew this was coming. Let's do this. I'm sticking here, starting the file transfer. I don't want to wait on that chopper. Bring it down to the building. Be ready to go.
Airlift initiated.
Hell yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth isn't just a sequel, it's nostalgia, reimagined and reborn in 4K glory. Developed by Square Enix, it takes one of gaming's most beloved worlds and stretches it into an open-world epic that feels both familiar and breathtakingly new. You once again step into the oversized boots of Cloud Strife, but this time, the story explodes beyond Midgar. The world feels alive, chocobos roaming, NPCs chatting, and side quests that actually matter. The combat system is a stunning fusion of real-time action and tactical depth, where every swing of Cloud's Buster Sword looks like a work of art. But what really hits is the emotional tone, that perfect blend of melancholy and hope that Final Fantasy does best. Rebirth doesn't just rebuild a classic, it redefines what it means to relive a legend.
Don't overdo it. I got you. Not bad.
What the hell? You ready? What the hell?
Understood.
Okay.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you've ever wanted a medieval RPG with zero dragons but maximum realism, Kingdom Come Deliverance is your jam. Developed by Warhorse Studios, it drops you into 15th century Bohemia, a world so authentic it feels like a playable history lesson, minus the pop quiz. You play as Henry, a blacksmith's son thrust into chaos after his village is destroyed. There's no magic or prophecy, just grit, blood, and the endless struggle to survive in a world ruled by nobles and steel. The combat is a brutal dance of timing and precision. Real sword techniques, stamina management, and the kind of difficulty that humbles you fast. What makes it special is its devotion to realism. You don't just play medieval life, you live it. Kingdom Come Deliverance proves that sometimes history itself makes the best fantasy.
You're dead. You gonna cry now? Add it up. Yeah. You led them straight to us, and you let them take the druid too? Unbelievable!
Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is the kind of RPG that makes every other RPG look like it's still in early access. Developed by Larian Studios, it's an enormous, choice-driven adventure where Dungeons & Dragons finally gets the cinematic treatment it always deserved. You awaken with a Mind Flayer parasite in your skull, because of course you do, and from that moment, every decision spirals into beautifully unpredictable chaos. The world feels alive, your companions feel human, or at least half-human, and every quest branches like a spider web of possibilities. No two playthroughs are ever the same, not even close. Baldur's Gate 3 isn't just about role-playing, it's about owning your story. Every success, failure, and absurd outcome feels 100% yours, and that's pure magic. Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is the ultimate comeback story of gaming. From meme-worthy chaos at launch to one of the most immersive open-world RPGs ever made. Developed by CD Projekt Red, it drops you into Night City, a neon-drenched metropolis pulsing with life, corruption, and enough flashing billboards to give your GPU a panic attack. You play as V, a mercenary trying to survive a world where body mods are fashion statements and morality's long been patched out. The city feels alive, crowds react, gangs patrol, and every alley hides a story. The gunplay and hacking blend seamlessly with deep dialogue choices that shape who you become in this digital jungle. It's stylish, emotional, and surprisingly human beneath all the chrome. With expansions like Phantom Liberty, it's evolved into a masterpiece about identity, rebellion, and what it means to stay you in a world built to sell your soul.
What's that for?
Wasteland 3. If Fallout had a colder, darker, and funnier cousin, it'd be Wasteland 3. Developed by InSile Entertainment, it's a post-apocalyptic RPG set in a frozen Colorado where diplomacy, firepower, and sarcasm are your only survival tools. You play as a member of the Desert Rangers. The turn-based combat is tactical perfection. Every bullet, explosion, and moral decision feels like it could change everything. But what truly shines is the writing. It's razor-sharp, darkly hilarious, and constantly forces you to choose between being a hero, a monster, or something in between. Every choice has consequences, and not the fake kind. Wasteland 3 is chaotic, smart, and unapologetically weird, making it one of the few RPGs where saving humanity and laughing your head off go perfectly hand in hand.
My name? Why don't you know my name?
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. There are games you play, and then there's Skyrim, a game you accidentally live in for a decade. Developed by Bethesda Game Studios, it's the open-world RPG that turned every gamer into a wandering hoarder with 47 cheese wheels and no sense of direction. You play as the Dragonborn, a hero destined to shout dragons out of the sky, literally. But the real beauty of Skyrim isn't the prophecy, it's the freedom. You can save the world, or you can spend 40 hours stealing cabbages and reading ancient books in a mountain shack. The snowy peaks, dense forests, and haunting ruins make Tamriel feel alive in a way few games ever have. And just when you think you're done, mods keep dragging you back in like a digital addiction. Skyrim isn't just a game, it's a lifestyle. You don't finish Skyrim, you just take really long breaks from it. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is pure art in motion, the kind of game that makes you stop mid-battle just to admire the wind brushing through the grass. Developed by Sucker Punch Productions, it's a cinematic open-world samurai epic set during the Mongol invasion of Japan, where every frame looks like it belongs in a museum. You play as Jin Sakai, a noble samurai torn between honor and survival, forced to choose between the traditions he was raised with and the tactics he needs to win. The island of Tsushima is breathtaking. Golden fields, crimson forests, and stormy shores that feel alive with purpose. Combat is fluid, precise, and poetic. Every sword strike sings, every duel feels like a story. It's not just about fighting invaders, it's about finding yourself in a world that's slipping away. Ghost of Tsushima isn't just a game, it's a meditative journey painted in blood and beauty.
我が名は酒井仁。この島を荒らす異敵に天誅を与える者。己の血で畑を潤せ。すぐに対馬を去れば情けをかけてやる。槍かを焼き尽かす。You inbred trash!
What the hell do you want?
Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a game, it's a cinematic experience disguised as one. Developed by Rockstar Games, it's a living, breathing Western masterpiece where every sunrise, gunshot, and moral choice feels heartbreakingly real. You play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw trying to hold on to loyalty and humanity while his world slowly collapses around him. The story is rich, emotional, and painfully human, a meditation on freedom, change, and the cost of living outside the law. But the real star is the world itself, the dusty plains, snow-capped mountains, and quiet swamps where every inch feels hand-carved by artists. Red Dead Redemption 2 is storytelling at its absolute peak, the kind of game that ends and leaves a hole behind. And honestly, it's a hole we don't ever want filled.
You're my brother. I know. I know. God damn you bastards!
And there you have it, 21 massive single-player worlds that'll eat hours of your life in the best possible way. Every one of these games proves you don't need multiplayer chaos to get completely lost. Just a good story, a beautiful world, and maybe a terrible sleep schedule. If you enjoyed the list, drop a like, share your favorite in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dive lists like this one. Your next obsession's already loading.